Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Saw 5, starring Tobin Bell, Scott Patterson, Costas Mandylor, Julie Benz, Betsy Russell, and Mark Ralston, and directed by David Hackle. Now, I do remember going to this movie at midnight one night of the year that this came out, and around Halloween time, and I thought that was appropriate for this movie. So, let's get into it. We open with Seth getting an unwinnable challenge, and I thought that's not Jigsaw. We find out it was Hoffman later on in the movie because he hates him for murdering his sister, who was the only family he had left. But still, didn't make sense at this point. After that sequence, we pick up minutes after Saw 4 ended, with Agent Strom getting trapped after shooting Jeff from Saw 3, and Jigsaw warns Strom to not go any further than who he really is. But he was ignorant enough to say fuck you, which made no fucking sense, and goes in there and gets his head trapped in a box with water in it, and it sticks open, and he puts a pen in his throat and sticks it open, like opens part of the pen and then decides to breathe in his throat, which, how fucking convenient. It was stupid but convenient. Jill Tuck getting a will from John, who died in part 3, and gives her something we'll find out in the next movie, as I remember correctly, and that wasn't very satisfying that we find out in the next movie. Hoffman gets promoted to detective lieutenant for doing absolutely nothing but getting people killed, which that don't make sense, and we also get a note from a mysterious person that will sent to Hoffman that says, "I know who you are," and I'm like, who the fuck knows who Hoffman is, since John and Amanda are now dead? Strom is now laying in a hospital bed while being hospitalized, like, yeah, you're a bigger idiot than I thought, and he still talks while he has a hole in his fucking throat, and that made no fucking sense either. Because Strom is stupid enough to see what Hoffman is up to after he gets off the Jigsaw case by his boss Erickson, I'm like, what an idiot. We get introduced to people in the plot of the game. 1 is Julie Benz, 2 is Megan Good, 3 is an investigating journalist, 4 is the spoiled rich boy, and 5 is a blonde firefighter, and the blonde firefighter gets it pretty quickly. And the rest of them, I didn't care about any of them, nor did I get to know their names. The investigating journalist tries to get the spoiled rich boy killed, but Megan Good stops him, and because he was smart, he had to die. I blame her character at this point. Hoffman meets Jigsaw for the first time in a flashback, and I was really confused for the first time I saw this movie in theaters, because I didn't know what the fuck is going on here, but this whole fucking movie is confusing anyways. Same with the series too. I'm going to put it out there. This whole series has been confusing. We get to the next trick. The spoiled rich boy, Julie Benz, and Megan Good. And Megan Good decides the spoiled rich boy needs to die. But surprise, Julie Benz decides that she doesn't trust Megan Good, so she gets the death in the bathtub. But I honestly thought they were both going to kill the spoiled rich boy until Julie Benz decides to knock her out. It's the most ridiculous fooled you moment I've seen in a movie history. Strom figures out Hoffman's plan to be the hero until Strom comes out alive, and Hoffman tries to find Strom. And the next thing you know, Hoffman gets trapped in a glass box by Strom, and Strom, convicted by Hoffman and his boss Special Agent Erickson, believes he's the Jigsaw killer. Strom is. Like, what a terrible FBI/police force. It was just ridiculous. I was also pissed the spoiled rich boy survives this fucking movie with Julie Benz, who's a big name for the last Rambo and Punisher film, but I felt the rich boy should have not have lived earlier. Like, Jesus Christ, he should have died much earlier in the fucking movie than when he did, because he was a big fucking whiner in my mind. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 2.3 out of 10. This is terribly the stupidest of the movies by far, and it was full of those fooled you moments like the filmmakers didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Even though I've got 3 more films to go, this is by far the worst of the Saw franchise. By far! So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for this, and I'll be back next week for Saw 6, and until next time, live or die, make your choice.